Hello traders, I hope you are doing well today. We are going to look at some of the most traded currencies and also the market interest during this period of time. We will begin in 1 minute. Just let me check the voice quality because it has problems sometimes. The first one that we are going to look at will be the economy calendar. It's a must for us to know all the time what is happening. Just 1 minute, please. Okay, as I see, everything is fine. Thank you so much to every one of you for joining. Okay, as I see, everything is fine. The first one that we are going to look at, we can see that during Wednesday, during morning, we have from Australia Consumer Price Index. It was 1.9% and it is expected 1.3%. The annual consumer price index, it was 7.8 and it is expected 6.9. We have to be very careful with how the market is going to interpret this data, but this is going to impact all the currencies that are related with the Australian dollar. We have to be also careful because Euro, Australian dollar, and many from the Australian dollar pairs are overextended. Australian dollar is very weak for the moment, and the chances are very high that we may expect Australian dollar to create any bullish movement very fast. So this is overall with what may happen. Everything is related with the market expectations. So it depends how the market will interpret those data. We have the durable good orders for the US tomorrow during the market opening. It is expected that we may see a positive number, 0.8% from 1%, minus 1%, sorry. On Thursday, we are going to have from Eurozone consumer confidence and business climate here. This is going to impact Euro pairs. And this is one of the most important data from the US, gross domestic product. It was 2.6, it is expected 2%. And the quarterly consumer domestic product price index, it was 3.9, is expected 3.8. So probably a slowdown in all of this, but we don't have to rush because the US economy is still very strong. I'm not expecting anything big at all. However, we need to see the data first. And Friday will be very interesting and also it should be very volatile. We have the Bank of Japan with interest rate decision. They have also the monetary policy statement. It is not expected from the Bank of Japan to take further steps related with the increase on the interest rates, considering that they didn't do this before. Also, the Japanese economy is already performing very well. I don't see any reason why they should change the monetary policy statement. But it should be a volatile market because it's one of the most important events, the interest rate decision. And another one that we have to be careful, probably the Bank of Japan press conference will be during the European morning. It will impact the market when the market will be open. During the previous time, they shared news in surprise related with the increase of the 10 years bond yield. And also the second time said that we are going to increase the minimum salary. So never knows what they can share during the press conference this time. And another market mover that will be very big this time. I'm not expecting this market mover to be from Eurozone GDP data, but I'm expecting from the Swiss National Bank, the Governor Jordan speech. This is going to be very important because, as we have seen during this month, the Swiss franc was very strong in a very strange way, and it is not stopping at all. However, it is better that we can move on the charts right now. This is overall what we may expect from the fundamental perspective. So let's see. Hello to everyone that are joining right now. Yes, Reza is asking about gold. We are going to analyze gold. We are going to look at one by one because the list is a bit big. For Euro USD and Euro New Zealand, I haven't prepared anything yet, so I can't share them for the moment. I'm really sorry because the list is very long and it will take time. So let's look at what is happening with the dollar index. We are going to look at from a higher time frame perspective. During the previous time that I analyzed, the dollar index, price was close to the bottom of the structure, and the chances were very high for a potential double bottom. The bearish opportunities at this moment will open only when the price will break this bigger structure close to 100.84, that it corresponds also to the lower part of this harmonic pattern. In this scenario, probably all the USD pairs are going to increase in relation with the USD. So we are going to face a weaker USD at this moment. However, this is going to happen only when the price is going to break through 100.8. For the moment, we are not in that scenario yet. I don't see that scenario happening for the moment because we have to see confirmation first for the bearish movement. But for the bullish movement, what I was looking at today, and it looks very interesting, is this part here. Price is creating this ugly inverted head and shoulder pattern. When the price is going to break through this area, the chances will increase even more. I am expecting dollar index to increase the bullish chances considering this pattern. Just a moment to make it more clear, but it is not a good pattern at all. It's very ugly. Because the problem is with this neckline how it can take shape here, so I can place this very good, but the chances will be very high when the price will bounce and it will continue higher. So this is showing that probably once the price will break through 102.1 approximately, then the chances will increase more for the dollar index to gain power again. The first target that I'm looking at will be 102.8 approximately, and this structure zone here. This is the bullish scenario for the short-term trading related with dollar index. It will be very interesting during this week with the GDP data that we are going to have. So this is a potential bullish scenario. Let's see how the market will react. We have too many structure zones. That is why we have to be very careful. If price is not going to break through this area, the chances are that it may move down again. So here we have one bullish scenario and also a short-term bearish scenario where the price will be blocked in this zone. So let's see what may happen with the others. So this is the overall idea that I'm looking at for the dollar index. Let's see what is happening with gold on the other hand. During the previous time that I shared gold analysis, I had this labeled. We can see that we had COVID-19 time on August 20. This was the top that price created before. So this is also the all-time high if we are going to look at in this perspective. The second top that we may see for gold is the war between Ukraine and Russia, and price created a new high, or let's say it was in the same level as the previous one, close to 2070. And here we are again with the problem of the banking crisis. For the moment, it is slowing down. During the previous time when I shared gold, I was thinking that this was going to stop in this zone, and as we can see, this is slowing down. Also, from an Elliott wave perspective, price probably completed the fifth wave of a bigger fifth wave where we are here, and the chances are very high that we are close to potential bearish movement. So this can be the beginning of the next bearish movement that I'm looking at here. We can never anticipate in advance when the price will make the change of the direction, but overall I'm thinking that we are in something like the previous correction. That is why the price is taking time in this area, and the next movement will be from the top again. According to what I'm looking at for the moment, the chances are very high that probably the fifth wave was completed and we are only in a corrective movement before the price will begin the bearish move for gold. It looks very interesting overall. I don't see any reason why the price should increase from this point. We have to be careful only if the banking problem is going to aggravate more. This is the only issue that we may have. However, as long as the price survived to the war and to COVID-19, I think that probably it will survive only to the current mess that the banking system already created. So let's see, let's get ready because this will begin the movement. Probably not so easily, but it looks like the price is getting ready for the next movement. For Euro USD, the next one on the list, we have to be very careful. During the previous time, I explained this analysis related with the movement that I was expected. For the short term, it was showing for potential bullish scenario for this potential price development as the price was creating this type of ascending channel here. As you may see, the channel was already completed for the moment. Today morning price faced this type of double top pattern here. It has some chances that the top was reached. However, we have also the data from the US. That is why we have to be very careful. But if we are going to look at on the left side of the structure, we can see also that the price is above this zone. Everyone was expecting for the price to continue to increase further, but as you may see, the bearish pressure from the USD is very high. So USD is pushing all the time when the price moves in this area, despite the fact that from the technical perspective it should increase. That is why we have to be very careful. The chances are very high in both movements at this moment. We may see the price to create this wave and probably it can expand this pattern more before it will take any direction, or the bearish movement will begin only when the price will begin the breakout process here. This is the only opportunity that I see for the bearish movement to happen. Until that moment, we have to be very careful because we may see Euro USD to grow again. It can increase the bullish volume very easily under the current conditions. So let's keep it simple in this way. Let's see how the market will react during this week. It is not ready at all for trading at this moment, also on the lower time frame. We need to wait for more price development and how the price will react. Considering that the price is already developing this type of bullish pattern, let's say, it can expand more and it can increase more from this zone here. So we may see Euro USD to increase again. That is why we have to be very careful, because the bullish pressure is also very, very high for the moment. For GBP USD, I would like to be very careful. It is not an easy setup at all. I'm looking at this in two different perspectives for the moment. The problem is because GBP USD already created a new high above the structure, and if we are going to look at this in this perspective, it looks like we may have a bullish continuation movement, and probably this will be a possible correction. But if this is going to be a potential failed pattern, then we can be in this scenario here. So the bearish scenario probably will take place only when the price will come through the neckline of the pattern, and probably later it can continue to move down further. Under the current conditions, we may see only that price created the right shoulder of the pattern. It is coming down, but it can also invalidate this pattern and it may increase the bullish volume very easily. So let's wait for this breakdown from the neckline of the pattern, and it will open the chances for more upside. Until that moment, we have to be very careful because we are exposed to both moves, considering that the market is already waiting for the US data, for the GDP data, and we can never know how the market will interpret those data during these days. So this is overall the bearish movement will be confirmed only at this point. I don't see any problem why the price is above this structure zone that we are looking at. This is a structure zone that we have from the left. But we have to be careful because we have to wait for any confirmation first. For the moment, the price is not confirming anything at all with these moves. So it is just waiting for the next big movement. New Zealand Canadian dollar is another one that I'm looking at. As you may see on the daily chart, when the price began the bearish move, it was at this point here. I also shared one analysis at this moment. It was shared on December 12th. As you may see, this is a daily chart, and for a daily chart is required a lot of time in order for the price to complete the movement. This is for medium-term trading, let's say. From the expected zone, price reacted very well. We can see that it reached both targets, but it is taking another shape right now. Also from the top, when the price was at 0.87, we can see that it spent approximately from December to February. We may see 3 months from this point here, only for approximately 400 pips down. So it was a very long period of time. In the current conditions, this is our pattern. It looks like the price already completed the E wave of the pattern here. We can see some bullish reaction. On the 4-hour time frame for New Zealand Canadian dollar, we may see that price already broke out from this small structure, and the chances are higher that it may increase again. The only problem is that New Zealand dollar was very weak during all this period of time, and also all these movements that the price is coming down, they are moving up with deep pullback, and all the time the price moves down. So despite the fact that we can see this pattern taking place here, it is increasing the chances for the bullish move, but we have to be careful also from these movements because they can dump the price very easily at this point. But this is showing that probably we have higher chances this time for the next bullish movement. Another one that we are going to look at is natural gas on the 4-hour time frame. I think that we should be very careful. I'm going to extend this analysis on the weekly chart. As you may see, price is testing very old zone here. This is dating back in April 12. We are at this low on February 16. It was also during the COVID time, January 20. It was in this zone again, and after that the price bounced from this area. It looks very interesting. We may see the bullish movement to happen from this zone. However, we have to be very careful with natural gas. Let's move on the 4-hour time frame. When the price came down close to this area, it was a moment in time that natural gas invalidated many bullish patterns. This was a big problem. Until this moment, we can see that 2.1 was a very strong area. At this moment, it was very risky. It had both possibilities. The chances were very high for the bullish movement. And we can see the price increased from this analysis, and it is consolidating near the top of the pattern. Considering that the price is already holding at this zone, the chances are very high that close to 2.3 the price may increase. However, considering what the price did before, that it didn't manage to hold the bullish volume at all, we have to be very careful because it can come also close to the bottom before the next movement. However, for the moment, this is respecting the technical perspective. The support area and the resistance area are showing to be strong. Probably if the price is going to spend time in this zone, it has more chances to accumulate volume for the bullish movement. This is looking promising for the moment. So let's see. Probably this small correction didn't finish yet. We may see any type of ABC correction before the price will increase. I would like to see more accumulation in this zone before the next bullish wave. If price is not going to create that type of accumulation that I'm looking at, probably we may see any release of liquidity. It can come down and it can increase from 2.1 again. This is also a possible scenario that I'm looking at for natural gas. And the last one that I would like to pay close attention to, related with this live stream, is Canadian dollar and CHF. It is not related only with Canadian dollar CHF, but this is related with everything related to the Swiss pairs. During this period of time, it was very strange. I'm looking at this from a weekly perspective right now. If we are going to look at this point here, this week, this is dating back in March 20. And if you remember, during this period of time, this bearish movement was created during COVID-19. At this moment, we don't have anything at all. We don't have problem related with COVID-19. We don't have problem that are related with the war that was here in Europe. On the other hand, the Swiss franc is already in Europe, the Swiss, so the war was created here. We can see that the Swiss franc is still very strong. And what is surprising at this moment is that it is breaking a very old area here. So it is not making any sense at all for Canadian dollar and Swiss franc to be in these levels. And Swiss franc is also pushing also the other currencies. This is very strange with what is happening. If we are going to look at also from the banking crisis perspective, we saw that they had problem with Credit Suisse. The Credit Suisse problem was something that it was supposed that was solved out with the sale that they made to UBS, and they had also the intervention from the Swiss Central Bank. However, this is not making sense at all. During these days, we didn't see anything related with Swiss bank. We didn't see any news at all from the Switzerland. So nothing at all that is coming out. Probably one thing that I'm assuming at this moment related with all the Swiss pairs, probably it should be something that is hidden from the Swiss bank, because this is something impossible, and probably they want to show that our currency is strong even in difficult conditions. It's the only problem that I see for the Swiss franc to be very, very strong. We are now in April 2023, nothing is happening, and it's impossible for this currency to break through these areas here. If we are going to move back on a monthly time frame, we can see that the price is creating all-time low without any reason at all. And this is something very suspicious in my opinion. I don't know what is happening, but probably we are going to take any answer during Friday, because the market is going to face the Swiss National Bank speech from Jordan. I'm really sure that during his press conference, probably he's going to have more questions from the journalists related with the current strength that is happening with their currency, with Swiss franc, and the necessary steps that they are going to take for this movement that is already happening in the market. So let's see. This is overall for all the markets. For two questions related with Euro New Zealand that Abdullah is asking about. I would say that Euro New Zealand is in a very strong bullish trend. It is better if you stay away, because it is creating also some other problems. It is not clear at all this pattern. For Euro Australian dollar, it is better to stay away also today, because tomorrow morning Australia is going to share the CPI data. As I explained, it will be during morning, and we can never know how the market is going to interpret the CPI data, consumer price index data. Because if the market is going to interpret this data, it will involve also the Bank of Australia and how they will increase interest decision, and it will be more complex. So let's see how the market will react to this data, and later we can see what is going on about the next price direction. So I hope you guys enjoyed this analysis. I hope you found this interesting and useful. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, you can leave a comment. I will try to do my best for the next live streaming. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you on the next live streaming again. Thank you. Bye bye.